guys. I'm not high right now, and I'm editing this video, and I'm realizing this is a very brutal serial killer with a lot of gruesome content, and some of us have a higher tolerance than others, and that's okay. So if you're squeamish, you might want to just skip this video, or I do put a disclaimer before it gets pretty bad, so if you want to skip around, that'd be cool, because I think I've really outdone myself this time. Okay, bye! Welcome back to another edition of High Crime. Got an upgrade. Spent a lot of time on that, you guys. Last week, I was unwell. So I'm only gonna take a half this time. I just wanna do a half. Just for mommy's sake. Good start. I'm high. You guys, we just got a bidet. My asshole is so clean right now. If it could sing, it would sound like this. Because it's so clean. So today we're going to talk about Richard Chase. One of my favorites. And when I say my favorite, I mean the one I'm most fascinated in. Not the one I think does the best serial killing. You're in for it. So disturbed from the very beginning. He showed very early signs of mental illness. But it was the 50s, 60s. Baby boomer parents were like, I saw war, did you see war? Then what are you complaining about? Pussy. It was like, shake him upside down and put him in an ice bath. You're fine. Like most serial killers, Richard started showing signs of the McDonald triad very early. We all remember what that is. Arson, bad wedding, and that's right, animal abuse. This is so stupid. By the time he was 18, he had been doing so many drugs. A lot of like LSD and weed. Despite this, he did great in high school, or like relatively well. He wasn't unlucky with the ladies, actually, but the only thing that he had trouble with was getting hard. Like I said, he did a lot of drugs. And that was not good for his mental illness. It just progressed. He became way more paranoid, way more delusional, and he started to become obsessed with blood, that he didn't have enough blood, or it was turning into powder, and that was one of the reasons he wasn't getting hard. There was no penis rushing to your blood. Because of this, he would go into the woods and get small animals and kill them and drink their blood, which makes sense. If you were to show me like a graph on the things that make sense graph, it would go up here. So, skip forward. He left his mother's house because he thought she was poisoning him and that she was selling him out to the Nazis. He moved in to an apartment with roommates with 2 girls, and that went over as swimmingly as you think it might have. He started to just come out naked and sit on the couch and start talking to them in nonsense, and for some reason, they didn't like that. So they're like, Richard, my dude, you gotta get the fuck out. And he's like, no. And so they got the fuck out. So then he had the whole place himself, and like any eligible bachelor would, started bringing rabbits and birds back to the house, putting them in a blender with some Coca-Cola, blending that shit up, and drinking it. Pardon me. He was in and out of institutions for like most of his early 20s. When he was out one time, his father came over to visit him in his bachelor pad. Dad walked in and Richard was just pale. He had injected rabbit's blood into him and he got blood poisoning. So he was institutionalized again. But for some goddamn reason, even though he was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, people kept letting him out. And his mother saw improvements, so started to wean him off of his medication. Sorry? You come here. Okay, just come here. When you see improvements, it means your medication is working. So, he went off his medication, unwell, just spiraling. Richard murdered his first person, Ambrose Griffin, and this guy was just helping his wife with the groceries. He just drove by and shot him. If you guys are squeamish, absolutely fast forward. He would just go really randomly to any house, and if the door was locked, that meant he was not welcome, and he would go somewhere else. So if you had your door unlocked, just unlocked, that means please come into my house and fucking murder me. So then he graduated to Terry Wallen. As he came into Terry's house, shot her, picked her body up, dragged her to the bed, went to the kitchen to grab a knife, and he grabbed a yogurt cup. He starts stabbing her and stabbing her. He cuts off a nipple. What is with it with the nipples and the boobs getting cut off? Reached in, grabbed the intestines, stabbing the organs over and over and over. Grabbed the yogurt cup, dipped it in the body, got some blood in the yogurt cup, started drinking it. And guess what? She was pregnant. That's not even all that he did with that body, but I won't say it. But if you'd like to know more, DM me. I'll let you know. So the next murders, her name was Evelyn. Her son, and Evelyn's sister-in-law, and her baby. And Evelyn's friend, Danny. So Danny leaves, and Chase breaks in, goes to the bath where Evelyn is, shoots her in the head in the bath, dead instantly, drags her body to the bed, but Evelyn's son heard the gunshot and came running into the room. Chase shot him in the head, left the body by the bed, went to the kitchen, grabbed a knife, started doing the same exact thing he did to Terry's body, but this time he was stabbing specific organs, drinking the blood, cut off part of her liver and ate it, pulled out all of her organs and intestines and grabbed as much blood as he could, slit her throat, and cut off one of her eyes. Woo! You guys still with me? The FBI profiled him. They're like, he'll probably be scrawny, skinny, very unclean, malnourished, kind of a loner, antisocial. And 5 days after hearing the FBI's profile, someone called and was like, I think that Richard Chase might be the murderer. So he gets arrested, charged with all 6 murders, and he tries to plead not guilty by reason of insanity, and that was rejected, surprisingly, because, well, actually, he wore gloves to, I believe, the Evelyn murders. So that shows some type of, like, forethought. He did know what he was doing, despite the fact he was deeply unwell, and he was sentenced to death. I feel like that's it. I feel like I did a really good job. Remember, I hate criticism. Guys, remember to like, comment, subscribe, smash that like.